All right, everybody. I didn't, obviously, if you've been following and waiting for videos every week, I didn't post the last Wednesday and Sunday, but I'm back today. Got the car back from sandblasting. You can see it looks a lot different. So got all the white off, got most all the rust off. Looks like the seam sealer was kind of tough for the guy to get off sandblasting. So I'll have to get after that a little bit. But gives us a semi-blank canvas. Gonna have to DA the outside too. He didn't want to hit these big panels because the sandblaster can create lots of heat and warp these panels. So I'll have to DA all of that. But looking around, it looks pretty good. And there's a couple of surprises that popped up. There's like a little bit in here, I'll show you. Got a little bit of rust in there. There's a little bit of pitting down in that area. And then we'll come over here and we'll look at this hellhole area here. And you can see it's pretty bad. So all of that's going to get cut out and going to get fresh metal. Also notice that I have some rust in this motor mount area down here. So gonna have to probably get another motor mount for it. But overall it looks pretty good. Did have one area here in the quarter panel. This is all filler. So it had a dent here and they filled it in, but luckily looking on, it might be too dark, but no, it's not bad. But there's no worm holes or anything, and I'll be able to push that dent out pretty easily. Yeah, once again, you can see the rusty area through there. And then we already knew about all of that under the longitudinal that needs to be done. So anyways, one more step forward. Also got all these parts done too. So like the bumpers, that's the rear hatch area, the rear motor cover. That was the heat shield for the exhaust. And then I did end up finding a new hood for it. So same thing. We got the hood and I had him hit the floor pan so that when I go to weld it, I didn't have to take that coating off. And then I did get when I got the hood, I got a trunk. But unfortunately, the trunk's got a little bit of rust coming through. So I'm gonna have to deal with that as well. But overall, not bad. I'm excited about being able to weld in the sheet metal panels. So going forward, we should be digging into cutting out and replacing all of this rust. So all right, so I bought a cheap welder. This is a YesWelder Flux 135 Pro. And the reason I bought it is because this runs on 120 volts. I have a Millermatic 180, but it runs on 240 volts. I don't have 240 in the garage. So I'm kind of being lazy, and this is somewhat about the same amount of money it'd take for me to put a plug in and a box and all of that time of wiring it in. So I'm going to try it. If it works, we're going to weld sheet metal with it. If it doesn't work, then we're going to send it back because I got it off of Amazon. So I'm going to open it up and then I'm going to test it out and see what we got. All my metal's clean now. Car's sandblasted. Everything going in is brand new. So I don't see why this thing wouldn't be able to lay down enough amps to be able to weld sheet metal. There it is there. And a couple rolls of flux core. I'm going to leave everything back in that box just in case it doesn't work. Looks like it has a stick lead also here. Won't be using that. Stinger. Yeah, it definitely feels cheap. So we'll see what happens. Not going to put it on a cart or anything. I'm just going to plug it into a cord, put the spool in, feed it through, see what happens. Fire it up, little 2-prong trigger switch there, and then a positive lead here that our flux cord is going to go through, and a ground. Had some kinks in it. I wanted to feed those kinks through so it didn't give me any problems. Just going to pick a spot here and see what it does. How much spatter it makes, stuff like that. See how she welds. I don't know if it wants the ground and the positive when you're using the gun. Looks like that's the trick. hotter than I thought it would be. So for comparison, a few years ago I bought a Lincoln. This was probably, I don't know, 10 years ago, before I even had my Miller-Matic. But I bought a Lincoln welder at Lowe's and I tried it out and it immediately went back to the store. Couldn't even penetrate sheet metal, so I'm quite surprised by this little welder. It's running a little hot right now. And that's without any reading of any instructions, so I'm going to have to read up on those. Bit of spatter on there, but not too bad. Yeah, it's still running kind of hot. Much better. Tar on the back side of that I didn't know was there. Run a little bit more heat in it, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, I wish I wasn't on an area that had that tar. Look at this vertical area right here. Actually, definitely have to wear my jacket. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. Might be a good little machine. For $100 bucks, I don't know how you can beat it. Of course, I got to dial it in a little bit more. Once I get it dialed in, I think it's going to do everything I want it to do. I'll show you what it looks like. So, nothing super fancy here. I started left to right. So, I started right there, blew through, went cold, turned the heat up a little bit. That's where I turned the heat up a little bit. So, you can see it's not great, but it's not bad. A lot better than if you look at some of these welds in here, like all this porosity boogers, bunch more crap there. So I don't know who you want to blame, Porsche or Volkswagen, but the welds aren't all that great in here. Same kind of deal in here. There was a spot where they were laying a bead and they just completely missed it, and I'd have to find that again. But all right, here's the area that I removed the floor from. I had to drill all those spot welds, and so now I have to fill them back in, and using my little cheap $100 welder, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's not a couple little dots in there, you know, but it's not a ton of porosity, and maybe just that could be just me not finishing the weld correctly. So you can see I laid down some spot welds to fill those holes in, and I think she's going to work just great. Anyways, I think that will work on welding in all these panels. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next week. I think I'm going to start in the very front pan, get that section done, and then I'm going to come in here in the engine area, and I'm going to basically shave this bay, get rid of everything that I don't need in here. This is going to go away, this will go away, this will go away, some of these tabs will go away, and then the motor cover channels and all of that, this area here, all this, that's all going to get deleted out of there to help clean that up. So that's what I'll be doing this week. So look forward to some videos coming out, and yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks.